up, AC Insiders? It's Francesca here. Now, we know the Atlanta area and Georgia as a whole is the Hollywood of the South. Of course, we interview directors and producers all the time. But I have a special treat for you today because we're actually interviewing, well, a couple. Yes, they are married, husband and wife, and they have created a brand new movie that is coming out today, actually. And not just created it, they wrote it together, and the hubby directed it. I'm talking about them like they're not here. Jason DeVan and Heather DeVan, thank you so much for talking to the A Scene this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so I was excited to see this trailer. We'll start off with the trailer, and then of course we'll get to all of your questions because all of you actors and folks who work behind the scenes, you guys have a lot of questions, and we're going to answer them today. All right, so along came the devil. When I saw the trailer, I was like, you know, I jumped. Thank goodness I wasn't in a dark room. Talk to me about how that came about.
I'll let you take over.
I woke up one night, honestly, at 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke my wife up out of her sleep. I normally wake up and have all my ideas at night, so I keep a notepad next to my bed and I write everything down. I woke her up out of her sleep and I said, honey, we're gonna do a movie called Tell Me Your Name. And the reason it was Tell Me Your Name is because to exorcise the demon, you have to get the name, and it was all in my head. It was so real. We wrote a treatment, 12-page treatment right after that. Interviewed a very close family friend of ours that have a lot of the truths that you see in the film in our movie, and we mixed it with a lot of the storytelling elements just to pay homage to that original Exorcist, 1973 Exorcist.
So talk to me about that, what the movie goes into, what it's about.
I take that one too. me and more.
Okay.
Yeah, so we wanted to tell the story about this family that went through a rough childhood with an abusive father, and the mother also carried demons, and so we felt that it played a really relevant role in how parents pass their demons sometimes on to their children. So we felt like that was great. We had a story that was relevant for teenagers and horror fans today, so we told that story, which just happens to show a young girl getting possessed, and it turns out to be very homages to the original Exorcist, but with a whole new story.
Now, Insiders, the reason why this story is so vital and so interesting for us is because this is completely local. I mean, we're talking, they're natives here, they live here. I won't say what city, but they live here, they're based here, and they hired a lot of local talent. Was that important? Was that vital?
It's very important to us, yeah. Because we felt like we were here, we wanted to represent. I'm from Atlanta, so we did bring in some of our main cast from Los Angeles, but everyone else was hired here. We wanted to hire as many Atlanta local as we possibly could.
There's a lot of talent there.
Yeah, and there's even one of the characters, her name is Hannah, and she's a very vital character, and some of the reviews are just raving about her performance. She's local, Madison Lentz. She lives in LA now because she's shooting Bosch there, but her family lives here. They're the Lentz family. They're an amazing local Atlanta family.
So it was vital to provide local. Let me ask you this though. You guys haven't stayed in Atlanta the entire time of your career. You also went to Los Angeles.
We did.
What was the reason for going to Los Angeles? What didn't Atlanta have at the time?
Well, this was 20 years ago when I moved from here to Atlanta. I mean, to LA. From Atlanta to LA, there was no A scene. I mean, it wasn't what it is today at all. Texas, I think, was bigger in that sort of environment than Atlanta. And through the years, well, and through the years, we would come home and visit, and my agent, who discovered me at the time, was really blowing up. She was blowing up. She discovered Dakota Fanning. It was Jay Purvis, Joy from Jay Purvis Talent. And so I would keep in touch with her, and I was just, every time we'd come out here, we'd be blown away. And then a few years ago when we shot Along Came the Devil, we shot it 2-3 years ago. So from concept to the ending, it took 3 years. So it was more like 2.5 years. But we decided we wanted to shoot our first film here because we wanted to have that hometown feel.
I gotta ask this question for a lot of our different AC and Insiders. They ask, why do folks come here, they shoot these amazing movies here, but the star talent is always imported, they're always transplants. What's the reason? You directed the film. You co-wrote the film, also produced the film. Be honest with them. What's the reason for that? We see it a lot.
I was going to say, right now, a lot of the A-listers that live in LA, their home resides there, so sometimes you have to bring them in. Social media, popularity, how much they generate people coming to see the movie. You know, I try and tell as many actors as I can everywhere I go. Social media. You have to play it plays an important role. Know that eyes are on you. They're watching you. They're trying to see where you're going with it. So we try and bring a lot of. It's growing and it's changing, but if you can work that, sometimes a lead becomes an A-list actor that has a bunch of films under their belt, and you know that they're going to bring a pool to the theater. Or what you're trying to do is make money. So distribution will come in and say, oh, they got this actor. But a company is also, once it gets big enough, you can hire talent for talent and showcase who people are and not worry about having like the name to sell your film, which is what we would love to, we're working on, and what we kind of combine both elements. We have a few LA stars and local talent as well, so we kind of meshed it together. But we hope someday to be able to showcase.
Can I say something about that? Because you asked about hiring local or hiring LA talent. LA has an extremely strong training place. A few years ago, Atlanta didn't have that. So a lot of talent wants to move to LA to train, and that's where they get their training from, or in New York, but New York is more Broadway. But now it's changing. Atlanta is getting those talent. A lot of LA talent is moving to Atlanta because it's just cheaper. It's a better environment. It's a nicer place to grow a family. But for us, when we set out, I'm going to give Sydney a shout out too. When we set out to find our lead actress, we were not looking for a name. We looked in Atlanta. We looked in New York. We had like hundreds of thousands of submissions. And we found Sydney. She didn't have any social media on her, so don't let that discourage you. If you have the talent, she just happened to live in LA, but that was because we wanted a no-name. Now she's not a no-name. She's blowing up as an actress, and by the end of the year, everyone's going to know her name. But that's what we wanted. We wanted to discover somebody. So it is, if you live in Atlanta and you're not discovered, it can happen. Don't be discouraged.
Don't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
You can hear as many no's as you want, but you only need one yes.
And we were just talking on the way here. We have heard way more no's than we've heard yeses, and we're still here. And very proud of where we are today.
Can we get to know, because a lot of people want to know, they want to know about your background. Where are you coming from? How did you get involved? How did you get in this position, literally? I know, obviously, former supermodel right here. If you guys didn't know, I had to toot her horn for you. But how did you all get in these positions?
Well, I don't know about supermodel, but...
and commercial queen.
So my background is modeling, and then I moved to LA for acting. I met Jason, and we fell in love, and I did more of the commercial scene because it felt more... money, yeah, and at the time for our marriage, it just felt more right because we didn't want to separate, and you have to travel a lot when you're an actress, and it just felt, for me, the commercial world was good. And then our son actually is an actor, and he did a film with Michael Biehn, playing his son. And I don't know if you know, Michael Biehn is from Terminator, Aliens, and then Michael hired Jason to direct the film. And that's where we are from here. Like, he is an actor. You went to talk about your background.
Yeah, I went to Penn State University. I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I played football at Penn State, and I felt like that kind of sculpted kind of that team environment, because you really have to, you're the sum of all parts when making a movie. Everybody is an important cog in the wheel, and I felt like that played a vital role. I was out in LA, did Dead Space 2 and 3. I'm in video games and as an actor, and I felt just so, you know, I'm grateful to have been in those roles.
He's the first human movie logo called Alcon. Look up Alcon, that's him.
And but those type of jobs sculpted to where we were and kept us going. And I knew I was fortunate enough to shadow a lot of big directors in LA. And that's when so when I got that first chance to direct, I knew what I wanted to do.
Okay, so Oh, yes, I was gonna say, I have 2 more questions for you. I want you guys to give us the best tips that you can for people breaking into the industry who may feel down and out. They haven't got their big break yet. And then, of course, I want to know the upcoming movies y'all are working on. So the tips, give us the tips. What's the best piece of advice that you can give to people who are just trying to make it?
You know, do not give up. The one thing that I can say, there's a lot of no's. There's more no's than there are yeses. And if it's your heart and your heart's desire is to be whatever it is, an actor, a voiceover artist, any kind of a musician, any sort of artist whatsoever, they say it's the hardest industry to survive in, but if you have the heart, go for it, don't give up, put it out there in the universe, speak the truth, whatever you want to do, you can make it happen.
I wanted to add a little to that. I was going to say grateful. When you really are grateful for everything and then you put positive out there, it really comes back to you.
The no's strengthen you. They're important.
They are important, but like just stay, no matter what comes your way, stay positive, because it just is a way of putting positive back into your life. I know it's easier said than done. That's just my thing is you can't go uphill thinking downhill thoughts, and people should kind of keep that in mind. Don't get discouraged. Just tomorrow's a new day. Just keep pushing.
And I imagine networking is probably pretty important too, though. Networking, right?
Yes.
That networking is very important.
And of course, the pre-production. What else do you guys have going on?
Yeah, so we are in pre-production right now on a film called Broken Souls. It is which we're shooting here in Atlanta. Yeah, and it's a psychological. We will, and it's a psychological thriller about a father and mother that go through a separation. The father kidnaps his son quickly from the mother, and the serial killer kidnaps his son from him, and he goes on a crazy journey to save his son because he doesn't have help from anyone, and it has an ending that's going to knock your socks off.
And you guys have written that, or you wrote?
Yes, we wrote it together.
Oh my gosh, what a couple!
We put everything together.
So how can they find out more information about you and keep up with you on social media?
Our social media is DeVan Clan. DeVan Clan is everything. So just look up DeVan Clan. You'll be able to find anything about us. The film right now is Along Came the Devil. It's out in theater. And VOD, which is video on demand, because a lot of people don't know what that means, but it's DirecTV, Comcast, Amazon Prime, iTunes. It's going to be on DVD October 9th, which is exciting. And Broken Souls, we don't have a website up for that, but you can see what's happening on DeVanClan.com. Or our social media is really what we do. Facebook.
Slated to begin filming.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Y'all do not rest, and y'all have 3 kids. Oh my goodness. Okay, A-Scene Insiders, so you just heard from Heather and Jason DeVan, and of course you can check out their latest movie, just one of many as you can hear, as you see. You can check out their latest movie today. It's out in theaters right now.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Fantastic interview. Thank you.
Thank you.